Hello all you shining stars, welcome to my channel Shining Star Soup. For today's What's the Soup Saturday, I'm going to be doing an 8-hour wear test with Bobbi Brown's foundation. Now, Bobbi Brown is new to me. The reason why I decided to try something different is because this one has SPF 15 full coverage or full cover oil-free shine control. Now, I usually don't go for a shade like this, even though the shade is ivory. It's C-0124, very light beige with pink undertones for very light skin. However, I've noticed that I sometimes choose shades that end up being too light for me. But if you saw one of my previous What's the Soup Saturday videos, I did Fenty Beauty versus, what was it? Bobbi Brown. Wow, I just had a moment. And the Fenty Beauty was actually like one of their lightest shades and was quite a bit more lighter during the swatch test, but actually comparing the two and putting it on my face, there wasn't very much difference. So but again, I was only doing half a face. I didn't put it through any sort of test with how it wears through the day, so I thought that would be an interesting video, because this one is for the 30 ml. On Sephora's website is regular $60, so Bobbi Brown is a luxury higher end brand, and it's usually a little bit more than what I pay for foundations. Even Estee Lauder, their Stay Place Double Wear foundations only I think $52, and this is $60. So I'm kind of hoping that this works for me and that I'd be willing to do a repurchase. I guess we'll see. So in order to make this wear test fair, I won't be putting on any powder over top. I want to see how this wears through the day with having none of that extra help, because I do have oily combination, sometimes sensitive skin, but definitely on the oily side, and I definitely notice it like on my nose. And another thing, during the Fenty Beauty Bobbi Brown comparison, I did notice that the Fenty Beauty like right away was starting to get all cakey, and it really kind of sunk into my pores in a bad way, where the Bobbi Brown side didn't. So I'm really excited to see if this is going to hold up that day. I want to do at least 1 or 2 check-ins, maybe at the 3-hour mark and the 5-hour mark. Just to see how it's wearing and how it's looking, and hopefully maybe if you watch this video you might decide that Bobbi Brown might be for you as well, or it's not. I don't even know if it's going to be for me, because this is the first time I am actually fully applying and wearing this foundation. Alright, so with that out of the way, I'm going to apply it. I do have my eye makeup look done. I also have eye serum, moisturizer, and primer. Now for the moisturizer, I used Pharmacy, the green thing, oil-free gel moisturizer, and for the primer, I just used e.l.f. matte primer underneath. Again, I do like a matte finish, and I think this might even be more, people are saying it's more, this is a medium coverage. So that kind of, it's kind of weird that way, because it says medium coverage, however, full cover. So I'm not 100% sure. Maybe that means that it's buildable, but I do like that this has SPF 15, and it's very hot today in Alberta, so I will be going outside and doing a little bit of shopping. But it's supposed to have a matte finish as well, long wearing. We'll see. I'm going to be testing it for 8 hours, and best for oily combo normal skin. Now on Sephora, this actually does have a rating of 90%, so 4.5 out of 5 stars with like 2,591 reviews. So I mean, this is, according to Sephora or reviewers, supposed to be a good one. However, you can't always rely on reviews, even the negative ones. some, you know, some people might be bitter that it was $60 for this and they wanted something perfect, or people might receive the product for free. So, but when it's that kind of ratio with that many reviews, yeah, I trust it enough to try it, especially when it's on sale. Alright, I've blabbered enough. So how I like to apply my foundation, and I've tried many different ways, is that I put it onto my finger, I dab, don't forget the neck. Yes, my lovely little double chin. It's a part of me. Yeah, so with that being said, I do notice as well, like I do get oily, but I also blush really easily. And I can get a little red. So I'm just going to, I'll see if I have to apply more than one layer here. I don't like to use too much foundation. I did make that mistake before, where I was just kind of caking it on. But I found that this way, doing it on the fingers and then on the skin, like this, I don't mean to give you guys the finger, it's just the way I did it, works better, helping it blend out. So I do have the IT Cosmetics flat top buffing foundation brush. This brush is like, I think, $60. It's not cheap, however, it has a bit of a learning curve to it, especially if you're used to using beauty sponges or a different style brush. And I'm still not sure that I do it right, and it loves to hold on to the foundation. I wash my brushes after every use, and I do have a brush spinner cleaner that I use just for this brush to get it dry, but I still have foundation just kind of caked on there. I don't know if you can see it, just right there. I have not been able to get that out, and I do use Dawn. I don't use any special brush cleaner solution. So this brush is supposed to be like a buffing motion. So I think I'm doing it right. But you know, makeup is very personal. How you apply it might not essentially be how a makeup artist would apply it. But either way, I think I'm going to have to do 2 layers here. So I recently started, you know, kind of exploring more of the luxury side of foundation and skincare. A lot of the skincare products I do get, because skincare is so expensive, I like to use BoxyCharm or FabFitFun. But you can't always choose what you get when it comes to BoxyCharm. Obviously, if you manage to get it through choice, it's only usually one or I think 2 choices now. Yeah, so this is going to, we're going to do 2. I'm going to do 2 little swipes. So far though, she's looking pretty on point, and it's definitely medium coverage. But as far as being a good shade match for me, I really think I chose a good shade. Alright, so this is just layer 1. I think it looks really good. I'm fortunate enough that I don't really have a lot of, I don't have too much redness, and I also don't have currently like any acne problems, or I do have a skincare routine, and my skin right now looks better and it's in better shape than it was when I was like in my early 20s. You know, no word of a lie there. And in my early 20s, I never did the whole skincare routine. I maybe slapped on some sunscreen, you know, if I was going outside for a long time on my face, but I wasn't into a whole skincare routine. And now that I'm going to be 40 on June the 9th, and you'll be seeing this video after June the 9th. Now that I'm 40 and having my skin look better than it did when I was, 20 years ago, that's to say, proves something that skincare works. It definitely works to have a routine. And, yeah, I think everybody can benefit from a nice skincare routine. Even men, even though my husband doesn't. My husband sprays his face with sunscreen, and that's it. He's done. He's outside a lot, and but guys don't tend to really worry about skincare as much as women do. But we want to look as young as we can, and yes, I just got that in my eyes, for as long as possible. And I did have one of my coworkers pay me a nice compliment, and they're like, "You look like you're 32." And I was like, "Isn't that nice? Thank you so much." But I do think, and I act, I mean, for my age, I don't act like a 40-year-old woman. I play Final Fantasy. Who even knows how a 40-year-old woman is supposed to act? It's just, I see, coworkers and people in the media who are like 30 some years old and they look like they're 50. It's like, how are people supposed to look when they're 40? And really, who even cares? I mean, obviously I'm doing this routine for myself because it makes me feel good. Alright, so I'm not going to go for a third later because I definitely only need 2. Alright, I have to rave about the application of the Bobbi Brown Foundation because maybe a little in the crack of my nose, but there's no pilling where it usually is, because usually when I've been putting on the Fenty Beauty or even Too Faced, it automatically starts to bunch up around here and in the corners of the nose and on the tip of the nose, and not so much the forehead and the cheeks, but this is applying flawlessly. So on first impressions, well, I guess this is technically a second impression where I'm actually doing my whole face. I do think that this is a good shade match for me. And I loved how it applied. I do like that it has a SPF 15. So right now it's 8:15 in the morning, and I'm going to be going outside. I'm going to be doing some shopping, so I will be exposed to the sun. But I am going to do check-ins. I'm not going to do any touch-ups. Alright, so if you saw a cut in the video, it's because I had some weird number from Ontario calling me. I just wanted to cut that part out. Alright, so I have no idea where I left off. Alright, so it's 8:15. I'm going to be wearing this for 8 hours. I'm going to be doing at least one cut. I'm going to try to get maybe 2 check-ins, at least a couple hours in, just check in and give an update on how this is wearing throughout the day. I don't have any powder on, and I don't plan on putting any, well, I'll probably put some highlighter and blush on, but I'm not going to be putting any powder because I really want to have the foundation have its chance to shine, because I feel like putting powder over top, you're seeing how the powder is wearing, not really the foundation. Alright, so I will, you'll see couple cuts in this video, and then at the end of the video I'll give my final thoughts. Alright, thanks guys, we'll see you soon. Well, I won't, but you get it. No, this is not an official check-in. This is just me showing a quick cut because I have my makeup fully put on. I did add some highlighter and some blush, and some blush. Get some highlighter on my nose. Highlighter right here. Highlighter here, down the nose and there, and then some blush. And I'm also wearing some lip gloss. And it didn't, sometimes foundation tends to make your blush look cakey. I don't know if you have that problem or if you've ever noticed that problem yourself, but no, nothing bad or negative to say about the Bobbi Brown as well. the blush just sits perfectly and the highlighter sits perfectly. Alright, so the next cut you see is probably going to be about the 3-4 hour mark, and then I'll do at least 2 updates, at least 1 update during this video. Alright, I'm checking in at the 5 hour mark. It's currently, well, it's more 5.5 hour mark. It's pretty much 2 o'clock, and I haven't made any touch-ups to my face. I've been out shopping, so I wasn't just sitting in my nice air-conditioned room all day. One thing is, I mean, it's awesome. I barely have a little bit of a shine maybe in this area, a little bit in the chin, a little bit here, and a little bit right there, but it's just oily, and it's not overly oily where I would feel that I would have to touch it up. I usually don't, just because I kind of find it a pain in the butt to, pull out any powder and touch up throughout the day, especially when, like I work from home, so I don't really have to worry about being super oily. I don't work at KFC anymore, thank God. Knock on wood, I never have to go back. But other than a little bit of oil, I mean, it hasn't started to break apart. You know how sometimes during a long day your foundation breaks apart and gets a little cakey on the face? But I'm not having any of that problem. Like, I am super happy so far with Bobbi Brown's foundation. I mean, I'm loving it. A little side note while I'm doing this What's the Soup Saturday. So I went and got from Shoppers Drug Mart, they had their points events where if you spend $150, you get 60 or 50,000 in points. So that's $50 worth. Basically, you're spending 100 to get 50 back. Anyway, I had ordered the perfume sample. You might have seen my other video where I went over like the deluxe edition, and I was planning on actually getting the normal edition to get the free bottle of perfume. So I ended up ordering that. I also got Benefit's Brow to kind of, and I bought a Father's Day gift for my dad for Father's Day. And the funny story was that I ended up getting, so I got like an extra 60,000 in points, which is $60, and they messaged me and said that the perfume sample kit was out of stock. And I was like, shit, I wanted that extra $60 in points. They still let me have the 60,000, which was fair because when I bought it and I put it in my cart, it was in stock, right? So obviously there must have been some kind of mix-up at the warehouse. I'm not sure where Shoppers Drug Mart ships from. And I could go, and if I really wanted to, there was still like 5 kits at my local Shoppers Drug Mart, so I could have, I guess, got it. But then again, you're paying $9 for perfume, and if you're not really a fragrance wearer yourself, for me at this time, it's just, it was a nice idea. I was planning on filming a video for it, but I ended up taking that $60 in bonus points, and I found out that you can actually use your PC points at Joe Fresh. So I ended up getting 3 shirts, well, 2 shirts, 1 cardigan, and a pair of shorts, which I really needed, for $8.19. So yeah, it turned out to be a very profitable day. Alright, so you're going to see another clip in the video, another cut, which is going to be my final thoughts, and that'll be at the 8-hour mark, which is in 3 hours. Alright, I am back, and we are at the 8.5 hour mark. So I would say that's pretty much a full day of wearing foundation, unless you like to stay out for 12 hours. Anyway, alright, so I haven't powdered. I didn't have any powder whatsoever, so this is just pure daily wear. As far as the feel goes, yeah, I'm happy. Bobbi Brown really really impressed me, actually, to be honest. It's hands down probably, actually I can say it's the best foundation I've ever tried. And I've had, like I mentioned before, Estee Lauder, their double wear. I've done Too Faced was one of my favorites. Fenty Beauty, which just is miles above the Fenty Beauty. This is definitely like my top out of 5 that I've ever worn. I felt that the shade range was really good for me. I didn't have any cakiness, any pilling. I do have oily combination skin, so you can kind of tell. I haven't even pulled out my mirror yet, but just like at first glance you can see that my cheeks are a bit oily, like just in my T-zone, but the makeup itself, the foundation has really stuck. So it hasn't, you know, it hasn't worn off or anything like that. I'm just taking a quick look in my mirror. Aside from, yeah, no, everything's all there. There's no creases. It's definitely a medium coverage, like it's not a full coverage. But again, it did say that it is medium. So as far as, like, it does have a matte finish, but just right around my nose right there, it has kind of worn off a bit. It is a bit oily. But I mean, overall, I'm impressed. I'm just going to go wash it off soon. So to sum it up, good shade matches, feels really nice on the skin, didn't cake, didn't smudge, didn't transfer. Okay. Yeah, like even just patting my face dry, there is barely any transfer at all on the tissue, so that tells me that it's very good at being pretty much transfer proof. So Bobbi Brown, SPF 15, full medium coverage thingy for oily combination skin, $60 at Sephora, gets a 5 out of 5 stars from me. Alright, so thanks for tuning in to my What's a Soup Saturday. I highly recommend getting yourself some Bobbi Brown, especially if it's on sale, but I'm going to be repurchasing this even when it's not on sale. Alright guys, have a shining star day and keep being shining stars, even if I'm not around as often to remind you. Bye!